What is up, Scoop family? What's up? I see y'all in the chat. Y'all already celebrating, right? Y'all see what just happened? Y'all see what just happened? Listen, we'll get into it. I don't want to get ahead of myself. I'm excited. Do me a favor, like this video if you have not already done that. Like. If you have not subscribed, please consider subscribing to the channel. Also, Apple Podcasts, subscribe there for you Apple folks. Spreaker.com for you non-Apple folks. Subscribe there. We got great relationships with both platforms. Please do that. Helps us out. And also, this gives you another option to check our videos out or our content out. But y'all see the title, Ohio State feels massive portal need. We knew this is coming. Just didn't know exactly when it was going to drop, and it just popped. We're going to talk about it. Also, remember, when you send those wonderful super chats, helps to go towards the Pay It Forward, which is our military and our first responders. We're going to look out for them because they always look out for us. Nevada Buck, what's up? Happy Boom Wednesday, sir.
Yeah, no, exciting stuff. Ohio State filling a big need today, and we were fortunate enough to. If you're not a member of our message board, we'd broken this earlier in the day that this was happening. But yeah, Ohio State gets a commitment from Connor Hawkins from the Baylor Bears, a place kicker out of Liberty Hill, Texas. Great leg guy that 3 of 4 on 50+ yard field goals, which is, I know that's been kind of a constant bugaboo for Ohio State, is when will we be able to get a kicker that can kick a 50-yard field goal? Well, I think we might have one there in Connor Hawkins. I think certainly one of the better, if not the best kicker in the portal. Ohio State really excited to get him, and only going to be a sophomore, so could be here for a few years kicking. Kickers, one of those positions that it never matters to have a kicker until you actually need a kicker. And as we noticed, Ryan Day's probably lost a couple of national championships with some kicks that could have gone one way or another. Well, this is a guy that can kick them from long distance, and just very excited to have him. So, yeah, Connor Hawkins to Ohio State, freshman place kicker from the Baylor Bears, now come to the Ohio State Buckeyes. Big get for the Buckeyes.
Yes, very excited. Let me read the rest of his numbers. Was a perfect 37 of 37 on extra points and 18 of 22 on field goals with a long of 54 in 2025. And there's a clip of him hitting the game-winning field goal. And listen, I talked about, the previous guy that was here and how it seemed like he would miss the kick before he would kick it. Just looking into this guy, he seems to have a confidence already as a young guy. And that's what we need, the confidence up here. And his numbers are good. And like Nevada said, he's got a lot of eligibility left. And I am just 3 for 4 for 50 yards, like Nevada said. I'm super excited about this. And I know this is the position, one of the, I would say, Nevada, out of all the positions that people have been clamoring about, this low-key might be the number one. I would say this one, and people will talk about O-line. But yeah, this one. So here you go, folks. Let's celebrate. We got our kicker. I am extremely happy because we went after a kicker last year, and it just didn't work out. People blame this and that. Point is, we had offers out, and we didn't get them. We got this one, and I'm excited about him.
Yeah, well, it's one of those things where you just think about the mentality of any player like this, knowing the pressure cooker that's Ohio State, knowing the recent history. Because let me tell you what, kickers always know the history of other kickers out of school. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, they know. Kickers live in their own little world where they know every stat, every big moment, every missed kick, every made kick, etc. And given the scrutiny that place kickers get at Ohio State, given the recent notable failures that we've had at Ohio State in 2022, obviously Georgia cost us a national champ. I mean, I never put it on one play, but that play, if he makes the kick, we win the national championship that year. Obviously, this year, missing a short field. I mean, we can go down the list. But then this kid's coming in. He's like, okay, that's where I want to kick. I mean, think about the mentality of that. You know what I'm saying? It'd be like, as good a free throw shooter as you are, like you're going to the place where the guy missed the free throw for the state championship, and you're like, okay, I'll be the designated free throw shooter there. I want to play there and shoot free throws. It's like, it takes some giant huevos to do that. And Ohio State is a pressure cooker for every position, but none more than the field goal kicker. Not, you know what I'm saying? Like the field goal kicker, it's literally, I mean, I know you're dependent on the snap and the hold, but it's a pretty much solitary spot where you get the pressure, and you get the kudos, or you get the blame when something goes wrong. And this kid is like, okay, I'll take that job. So I've
Yeah.
got mad respect for this kid already, that he's willing to do that. And like I said, I think he was terrific as a freshman last year. He's got the big leg. I mean, you see on some of the kicks that he made. Some of his 50-plus yard field goals would have been good from 65. So like
Yeah.
this kid's got a big leg, and now we'll see if he's got can handle the nerves and the constitution to handle at Ohio State, because no matter what you say, Baylor. I mean, Baylor's a big school. Baylor's a great program, and plays in front of big crowds, but not like Ohio State. At Ohio State, the
Yeah.
pressure is just different. The history with the kickers is just different. But this kid's stepping up and accepting the challenge. So, like I said, I've got mad respect for anybody who'll do that. So, kudos to you, young man.
Yes, great points, mad respect, and also mad respect for not fleeing to the warm weather like these other kickers been doing when we offer them. I want to go to Arizona. I want to go to Texas. I want to go to California. Come up to the frigid Midwest, because guess what, young man? When you go to the NFL, you're going to have to be conditioned for Baltimore, Buffalo, New York, Cleveland, etc., etc. Great decision. And you're right, Nevada. The pressure cooker is real. Listen, you have to be psychologically right and measured. There's a young man by the name of Ray Finkel who lost his ever loving mind because he could not take the pressure, and he blamed Dan Marino. To this day, it's still a problem with him. He's in therapy. So, listen, this is no joke, and I'm very, very happy about this. Excited about this. I haven't been this excited, Nevada, about a kicker in a long time. But like you said, it's one of those things like long snapper. Puh, we're getting long snappers in the portal while Signetti is getting blah blah blah. Okay, you act like you brush it off until you need it, until your long snapper is trash, and you're like, why didn't we get a long snapper? Well, our kicking game has not been great, and so now I'm just super excited. Now, just to kind of slightly pivot, we got the long snapper, we got the kicker. Now our punter that we remember, Nevada. Let's go back to the Texas game when you and I and everyone there in the suite enjoyed a sweet victory against Texas. But early on in that game, the punter was a little shaky. Would you say that our punter, because he has what, one more year eligibility, I believe?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
So he'll be back. So are you satisfied with his growth over the season to feel like he can come in next year and be even better and more consistent to add on to these pieces to hopefully make our special teams Tressel-esque?
I do, and I know that might be a minority view, but I think anybody that was at the Cotton Bowl was watching. First of all, watching him warm up and watching his kicks, and then in the game, he was booming the kicks, and had one late that it was like a 60-yarder with no return, but they got called back for an illegal formation. I believe it was Aaron Scott or somebody was off the line or whatever it was, and they had to
Yeah.
kick it over again, and it wasn't as good. Um, but look, this is a different era now. This is the portal era, where I think everything's kind of changed, and I think now you've got to look at things, just a year by year basis. So if there's a punter that's more experienced and better, then I think that you have an obligation to go out and go after him. But am I comfortable with our putter? I probably am more comfortable than other people. Just because the way that I'm evaluating punting is not just punting, but by net punting. Like, because it's all well and good to kick long punts, but if they get returned for long yards against you, that's not as helpful.
Yeah.
And so I
Yeah.
think, we didn't give up many return yards. I think it could have been better. So I'd say I'm kind of, I'm probably 60% pleased with what we have. But if there was some phenom, Ray Guy the second out there, let's bring him on. But it leads me to a point, though, and I think this is really an important one. We pride ourselves on kind of educating people on the show. I think everything that's gone on right now has got to change, cause a fundamental reassessment of how we look at roster development and how you look at your team. Because in the past, we would talk about you would rebuild your team, um, via recruiting. You go out and recruit, and what was your recruiting class? How was your recruiting class, and how does it look, and how does your depth chart look? How does your depth chart look? Um, how are you looking 2 years from now, 3 years from now? I think now, I don't think you can look more than 1 year down the road on your team with any type of certainty. I think the idea of building depth via recruiting is kind of dead. And I think that you're literally gonna be just filling needs every year as you're kind of going along, looking at your roster, seeing who are guys at others at lesser schools that you can that are older, that are more mature, that are more developed, and filling your needs, through the transfer portal and through NIL deals and the like. So I think classes are going to become more and more like basketball classes. I think you're going to have five
Yeah.
guys, eight guys, or what I'm saying. You're going to do things, but there's no reason to take a kid, pay a bunch of money to him, develop him. JJ Smith may be the last of the Mohicans for us in terms of those kids that
Yeah.
what I'm saying, like the 3 year superstar player that you bring on and pay, what I'm saying, and that's just causing just a fundamental change in the way that we approach this game as fans. Now that is until they change something. Now, do I think things will get changed in the future? I do, because I think this is craziness right now. But I think while we're in the midst of the crazy, I think just as a fan, take a step and don't give up on college football, but take a step back and just reevaluate how you're building teams, because everything that we used to know about building teams is kind of gone. And I think we just got to adjust our thinking.
Yep. You're correct. I mean, this is one thing I've been trying to, bring people along with, as well as I'm being brought along in my own mind. Because again, we're all processing this real time. So we have to shift our adjustments and expectations and perspective real time, because that's what's happening. So the adjustments are real time. And so there may be some rough waters and trying to navigate it. And again, I just want to remind people, because some think I'm too harsh, too mean. By the way, Nevada, let me say this now. Somebody didn't like the Patton video. They thought it was too mean. They didn't like the little boy's helmet getting slapped off, and they didn't like. They were offended. And I thought to myself, I was like, George Scott is still. He was such a great. He killed that role so much that he's still offending the current new generation of people. I was like, what a performance! What a performance! But no, I thought that was hilarious. And I enjoyed the video, so you'll be okay. You'll get over it. But no, I'm saying that to say that I understand it's been tough at times, but I just trust this program to navigate like they always do, and I'm excited. And these pickups we've been getting have been very, very good for our system, production, all of that, man. So again, we're reloading again, y'all, and we got guys coming back that are going to be really good. Just think about it. Julian Saying was invited to New York his first year as a starter, and he has so much more growth, so much more. I was talking to a buddy of mine earlier, Nevada. You mentioned Jeremiah Smith. Jeremiah Smith, we have to remember this. I think we forget because we see his stature and the plays and the natty. He's only coming off his true sophomore season, y'all. We look at the physicality of this young man and forget that his mind is still developing, his football IQ, he's learning. Like, he's going to get better. You know what I'm saying? So this team is going to be right there in the thick of things again to compete for a natty. And so just the overall arching message, Nevada, is when we try to convey what we're conveying, is just let it play out, y'all. This program always rises to the top, and they get it done, and they're getting it done real time. And there's still more coming. We're going to talk about it, Nevada.
Well, yeah. so they didn't like Patton meme that you did, and you didn't even show the part where he pulled out the gun and was going to shoot the guy
Yeah.
there.
Yes,
Like
exactly. I cut that out purposely.
you got this.
I was like,
So
I'm not gonna keep this. This might scare people too much. And I still got like, oh, that wasn't funny. You're mean and you're being too harsh. I'm just like,
uh,
dog, like, really? But I thought it was hilarious. The Patton folks, the Patton fans, I'm sure you loved it. If you didn't see it, it was on last night's pod. It's also on my Twitter feed. But yeah, I enjoyed it, so they'll be all right,
yeah,
Nevada.
yeah. I think but what look, I mean, Ohio State's not done in the portal. Obviously, Ohio State still, it seems like they're still hunting for some wide receiver help. It still seems like they're hunting for some defensive line help right now. Now I'd gotten a message from somebody earlier today with some really positive things about Jordan Seaton on top of that, but I just can't get myself to buy into that just yet. He just seems like such an odd fit culturally for Ohio State. I mean, the wide receiver stuff makes sense to me. And so, it makes sense to me that you're looking at a guy like Christian Moss, from Kennesaw State, or the kid from LSU, Kyle
Yep.
Parker,
Yep.
because you've got a wide receiver coach, coming over there from LSU, so you've got some experience with those guys. He knows the kids. He knows their potential. So that makes sense to me. And defensive line, obviously, you got the twins from Florida State that have just popped, and that certainly is interesting. And then you've got Cam Calhoun,
Yep.
who's the
Yep.
defensive back from Alabama. So I think Ohio State's trying to pick and choose, find some depth pieces that kind of make sense for him right now. But saw Austin Seyerveld announce that he's coming back. That I didn't know of any people were really thinking that he was going to go to the NFL draft, but certainly could have. Would have been kind of a little bit surprising, but to me, these are the announcements that are the underrated goodness for Ohio State. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because like Austin Seibel, oh wow, Austin Seibel's coming back. You're talking about a guy who's going to be one of the best offensive linemen in the country, can play multiple positions. A guy that's not flashy, hasn't gone in the portal, isn't an NIL baby or whatever it is, but a guy that's started how many games for us, played with us through a national champion. I mean, like, this is a guy that can play, and he's
Yeah.
coming back for another season. Man, those are the guys we're going to win with next year in 2026. And so I think for us, while we're always excited about the shiny new toys and the guys that are coming from other schools, because we know that they've got to be better than anybody on our roster, man, getting guys back, I think, is absolutely humongous. And Austin Sarville coming back, I was super excited about that. Even, I know it'll probably merit a couple of mentions on the board and maybe 5 comments or something. But to me, those are the biggest announcements for 2026 in my humble opinion.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. Because again, people gravitate towards headlines and flash and what they perceive to be flash. But yeah, listen, Saravel was really good this year. He's going to get better. He's a leader. Um, and look, I'm coming around Nevada. Listen, I wasn't pounding the table for let's go gut the O line room. Not at all. I just wasn't as far with you as you were early on about the O line and what was needed. And I'm looking at, like I said, I looked at the roster yesterday. I'm like, man, these guys can get better. And I was encouraged by the second half of the Miami game because sometimes when there's an injury or when there's a situation, you find something, you find a combination like, ooh, this combination is working. And so I think we got guys that we can work with. Listen, I'll take Seaton. I will take Seaton if we can get him. I'm not holding my breath. But again, it's just like more info is coming in. Like, yeah, like there's more. This is like actually real. But I'm just like, yeah, we'll see. So with that said, yeah, that's a great call out with that. And I got one of the Desire twins out. Is that how you say it? Is it Desire or is Desire? I'm not sure.
I've been saying desire, but you can say
Okay.
desire. You can say desire. I'll say desire. You just say
Okay.
desire.
Okay. Because we certainly desire their services
But I mean,
here in Columbus.
the desired twins out of Florida State, just that gives me a connotation of something that's not really thinking about football or something like that. So maybe we just better go with the Desir twins, I think.
That's funny. I saw the scoop board, so that's hilarious. That thread is crazy. But yes, I digress. But yeah, I mean, listen, even this would be incredible, Nevada. Like getting these guys is like we already got a package deal. You mean to tell me we about to snag some twins too? Um, so I don't know. It's definitely a lot of activity, but let's go back to somebody else you mentioned. Okay. So this kid here, I don't have a big picture of him right now, but it's Cam Calhoun. From the former Alabama cornerback. He also played with Jermaine Matthews at Winton Woods, right, Nevada? I got that correct.
That is correct.
So yeah, so there's a crystal ball out there for him, a lot of smoke. So is he going to come here and start necessarily? Maybe not. It might just be a good, solid depth piece. I'm not sure about that, but there's activity there for sure. And so the other receiver, Kennesaw, I know some people poo-poo this kid. Let me go to his. Let me pull him up. The 6'3" Moss caught 45 passes for 689 yards, 2 TDs. Pretty big kid. I'm assuming a good depth piece. I'm not expecting him to come in and start over JJ Smith or anything, but I guess my whole thing is Ohio State. You have to convince me that Ohio State is just saying, oh, well, let's just go randomly throw a dart at kids and pick this guy. I mean, they evaluated him, watched his film. They feel like he's a good fit. Understanding he's not coming in here to be Carnell Tate per se, but hey, he might be pretty good. What do you think about him, Nevada? I know there's not a lot of film out there on him. On YouTube, it's hard to find. So clips are very scarce, but I like his size, and he has experience.
Well, no, Kennesaw State played some games this year, and he actually was decent against good opposition. And Ohio State right now, this is kind of a classic case of what you got to do in the portal world of 2026 and beyond, which is you've got guys on your roster that have never played, that have never made a catch, versus a guy that had 689 yards playing elsewhere. And who are you gonna pay for? Are you paying for the potential? Are you paying for production? And I think for Ohio State, the answer is, any more investing in the potential. I'm not saying it's a fool's errand in terms of you should stop it altogether, but it's risky because once you start investing in guys from a potential standpoint, what happens, B? They enter the portal and go somewhere else and get a
Yep.
bag.
Yep.
And I can't blame them, because if you're at Ohio State and you're getting 300,000 or 400,000, and some of the school offers you 1,500,000, how can I blame you for going and chasing the bag? And so I think for Ohio State, they've got to focus their resources on guys that have produced, guys that they know are there. And sure, you may lose some of the upside, but I think that you'll lose some of the downside too, because these guys that you've seen before, that you've got tape of, yeah, you know what you're getting, and it's a much more game ready, college ready type of experience for you. So I think, whereas before 99% of our resources were in high school kids, I think now it's almost got to flip it on here, where maybe it's 20% of your resources going to high school kids, 80% going to portal kids,
Yeah.
because that's the changes. That's the world that we're living in, and the people that can respond to that the best and the quickest are going to be there. And um, I know what's been fascinating to me has been reading stuff about how Ross Bjork has become like the devil. I know everybody's mad about NIL,
Right.
everybody's mad about the transfer portal, and so you can't take it out on Ryan Day. So there's always got to be somebody to be mad at, right, for this. So I guess have we decided that it's Ross Bjork that we're collectively mad at
Yes.
about all this stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's so stupid, man. I got to be honest. If you're one of those people that thinks Ross Bjork is like the problem at Ohio State, then you're dumb. I'm just telling you, you're just a dumb person, because Ross Bjork, not the system is the problem. The situation is the problem. Ross Bjork is just trying to help us navigate the waters of this thing, try to stay with color within the lines. And for people that say, "Oh, there's just no rules and there's not," look. Eventually, there's going to be rules, And for Ohio State, they've got to stay within their means because Ohio State does not have unlimited money. They just don't. We don't have some pool of gold coins like Scrooge McDuck that Rosberg dives into every night and swims around and we get all this money. Like there's an economic reality that you've got to respect here at Ohio State. And I know that makes people angry, but I'm just telling you, he ain't the problem. So just whoever the AD is, I guess we'll decide that we're going to hate the AD or we're going to hate the president. You can't really hate President Carter, so we got to hate Ross. I just think it's really unfair, and I think the anger at Bjork is completely misdirected.
Yeah, it is. And you're right. There always has to be a target or a whipping boy, someone that they can, cry about or attack. And remember, you saw that clip of some goofy that pretty much ambushed Bjork and started asking him all these questions about NIL and why aren't you doing this and why aren't you doing that? Now Bjork handled it pretty well, all things considered. But it's just stuff like that. Like, come on, man. The lunatic fringe or the crazy minority of the fat, but y'all gotta chill, man. Y'all gotta chill with that stuff. But yeah, they gotta find somebody to attack when they're wringing their hands over nothing or overreacting over stuff. And so yeah, it's what it is. But I agree. They're going to continue. Nevada, it doesn't matter. Like they'll cool on Bjork for a second, but then if anything comes up that's even remotely related to finances or the program, they're going to pivot right back with the torches for Bjork. And I don't know where that started. Well, it started with the whole NIL thing and them having to blame somebody, but it's just what it is, man. It's just the fans. They just can be goofies, but it is what it is. But yeah, I wanted to pull this kid up from LSU. You mentioned him earlier, Kyle Parker. The Kennesaw kid, he's a bigger receiver, maybe a possession type guy. This kid has speed. He ran 10.89 and 11.13 at the Texas District 10.58 track meet in 2022. Ran a 23.04 200 in long jump. He's an athlete. You look at his film, he's fast. So, if we were to pull this kid, that's more speed because that kid, here's another kid that people are sleeping on, Nevada, is McEwen. People are just kind of like, oh, well, he's not going to play here. Really? I don't know about that. Listen, from in Nevada, you can confirm, like he's not being brought in just to be a depth guy. Like he's being expected to actually be in the rotation to contribute. He may not be out there every snap, but he's coming in to actually play. Correct, Nevada?
Well, all these portal guys are being brought into play. You know what I'm saying? Like when I talk about depth, I'm talking about playable depth. I'm not talking about spare
Okay,
parts depth. You
fair
know what I'm
enough.
saying? It's not like like you have the thing where you got your four good tires and then you got your tires that you leave in the thing and just for a rainy day in case something happens or something like that. Now
Yeah,
these are not rainy day tires. These are guys that are going to play, that they're going to be in the rotation, that they believe can help us win the national championship in 2026. So, all these guys were viewed as playable depth. That goes for the defensive line guys they brought on. That goes for obviously the kicker. That goes for the wide receivers. So no, I watched a bunch of UTSA games this year, and I love the UTSA quarterback, McCown's kid. Josh McCown. Remember
yeah.
the NFL quarterback? His
Hmm.
son's the quarterback there, and
Oh,
I,
I
I
didn't know
think
that.
I think he's terrific, and so I watched him play a bunch, and like I loved them. I thought they were great. I thought he showed a lot, and I think he can absolutely help us. And we'll see. We'll see what you've got. Obviously, next year the wide receiver rooms, it's going to go from experience to really young. With
Yeah,
guys like Chris Henry Jr. and Philip Bell. I mean, you've got guys that are all over the board in terms of experience. But to me, that's the exciting part of it. College football's changing, man. The days of just having guys that are there 2, 3, 4 years. I don't know if that's going to go the way of the dodo, but I assure you, everybody being brought in is being brought into play and contribute right away.
yeah. Amen. That makes sense. The portal's a little different. The portal. You've been in college. You've produced. Now it's time to come here and produce. Even if it's maybe you're not the starter, but you're producing. So I get that. Now you mentioned before we pivot to super chats, I wanted to ask this to you, Nevada, and the chat. You mentioned Chris Henry Jr. because I'm seeing as I'm surveying the opinions and the people. It seems to me that people are kind of like unsure if Chris Henry can make an impact next year. I don't know. I just feel like I'm not going to say he's equal to Jeremiah Smith as a true freshman, but I think he's like as high as you can get outside of the Jeremiah Smith level. I think he can come in his freshman year and make an impact, like a significant impact. And so, chat, do y'all agree? Do you think Chris Henry Jr., because the pressure is going to be on him even more to produce, potentially, depending on what these other guys may be able to come and do, but there's no other receiver like him on the roster. And so to me, the fact that he's a freshman and the whole, I guess, hesitation with that is a little bit compensated by his freakish size and ability to still run very well and his ball skills and route running. I think Chris Henry Jr. is going to come in and make some significant plays. Maybe not J.J. Smith his freshman year level, but significant for a freshman. Am I tripping? Am I expecting too much? Nevada, what do you think? And what do y'all think in the chat?
Well, all I can tell you is from talking to people at Modern Day, and they feel he's a day one player, contributor,
Yeah.
potential superstar at Ohio State. And um, I'm hearing he's a legit 6'6".
Mm-hmm.
And when you're 6'6", 208 pounds, and can run the way that kid is, obviously we talked about not having anybody like him at Ohio State. There's not many kids like him in college football. To
Yeah.
be that combination of that size, that catch radius, that strength, that type of route running ability. So yeah, you hate to put the moniker of JJ on anybody,
Yeah.
but if there ever was somebody who could come in, because I think the combination of JJ is tough because it's that size and speed and strength, but you know, Chris Henry's like freakishly. I mean, he's 6'6". You know what I'm saying? So like that's a different level of height, and I think he's gonna come in and play right away. I know Ohio State believes that. I know the people at Modern Day believe that. I know the people that have seen him over the summer in the camps and things like that believe he's going to be able to do that. We'll know more soon, and as he's at Ohio State, and we'll know more. But I'm telling you right now, I'm calling it right now. Day one, starter, contributor, big part of the national championship chase for us in 2026.
Yeah, I agree, man. I mean, it's just again, he's not just a freshman. He's 6'6", and he's very good with 50-50 balls. And I'm trying to look for the comment that somebody left that I agree with. If I can't find it, that's fine. I'll just repeat it. But basically, they said he's going to be a red zone monster. And that's the other thing is like with his size, because again, go watch his film. Go watch his film. He's excellent with 50-50 balls. And not only that, he's outrun players consistently on film. Like, and he doesn't play in Idaho in some trash, division. He plays for Modern Day, so he plays good competition, and he just makes it look easy out there. So I'm excited about Chris Henry Jr. I think he's going to make an impact, and that's just my story, and I'm sticking to it. So yeah, you got anything before we hop on super chats?
Well, I wanted to ask you a question. I like the Chris Henry Jr. question, but my question was, what did you think about the decision by Dante Moore to come back to Oregon for another year after Dylan Raiola commits to Oregon, and do you think Dylan Raiola now re-enters the transfer portal?
Yes, I think Dylan Raiola is a walking transfer. So I would be shocked if he didn't. And I was a little surprised by Dante Moore coming back. Listen, I don't think he's a slam dunk first round pick. But I was still surprised that he came back. Were you surprised?
I was surprised that he came back for sure, just because I do think he's a slam. I think he's a slam dunk. I mean, look, if JG McCarthy was a top 10 pick, then
Yeah,
Dante
true,
Moore
true.
has got to be something there. And I would have thought that Dylan Raiola would have got this kind of knocked down before he committed there. You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you commit to a school? And we talked about that. For Rayola, yeah, I understand. Look, the best thing for Rayola might be to sit for a year in red shirt and process and get stronger, get out
Yeah.
there. But he's never done anything that seemed to be, long term picking the best view. He's always been kind of racing to get out the door. So I'd be shocked if he stayed there. But who knows? But that was certainly one of the bigger surprises of the season was Dante Moore deciding to return to Oregon, which make next year we play Oregon in the shoe with that. I mean, our schedule's tough. Our schedule was already tough, but it just got tougher with him coming
Yeah.
back because he's a good quarterback and he'll certainly be better next year.
Yep, that's a good point. Also, Buckeye Nation, we low key, not low key, we high key dodged a bullet with Dylan Rayola, did we not? I know people were so heartbroken by that, but we dodged a bullet. I'm super cool on Rayola. Glad he did not come. In hindsight, I know he was highly rated, but boy oh boy, your comment about him sitting out for a year might be spot on. He might need to step back and reevaluate his life and just get it together. I don't think he has some tools, but I just think he just needs, I don't know, he needs something. Because the direction he's heading as far as the expectations to me is just not great. So, but yes, that was wild that he picked Oregon and then here comes Dante Moore. Yeah, just weird. So we'll see how that pans out. I would not be surprised if we see a breaking Dylan Rayola re-enters the transfer portal tonight, Nevada.
Yeah. That could definitely happen. And yeah, I just think it's so wild that stuff like that could happen in these days and times. But yeah, nothing shocking anymore. That's for sure.
Not at all. All right. Stilly Matt. Thanks for the 199. Happy birthday, Bradley Dunkel. QB1. Nevada, what you got on this? Is that a sandwich? Is that that's a cake. Okay. I was like, that a sandwich? A little icon.
Bradley Bradley Dunkel. Am I? Is there? This is a reference clearly that I'm missing. B Moses. Am I
Yeah,
showing my age here? But I'm not. Are you googling Bradley Dunkel right now?
I'm
Because
Googling Bradley Dunkel. I don't know who that is.
Steely Matt is pulling out some references that we were just. Maybe he was playing off your kicker thing from Ace Ventura: Pet Detective or something like that. And
I,
and
I, I know that movie pretty well. I don't remember any Bradley Dunkels in that movie.
yeah, no.
So Stilly, educate us, please.
Educate us.
Usually we're on it, but Bradley Dunkel, QB1, or is that no? Is he talking about Napoleon Dynamite? No, I don't think Napoleon. I'm trying to think what the reference is from. Please let us know, and we'll get back to you. Here it is. Dunkel is a watcher of the show. Okay, I guess the QB1 threw me off, right? Nevada, if the QB1 is what threw me off. Happy birthday, Bradley Dunkel.
Happy birthday! Yeah, we're doing
Happy
happy birthday,
birthday.
brother. Happy birthday!
Yeah, the
Yeah,
QB1
the cube.
confused me.
It confused me. I was confused as well.
Yep. So my bad, but happy birthday. Greatly appreciate you. Hope you're having a great day and all that good stuff. Still Matt again. Sunshine pumping, Scoop family. Sunshine pumping. Listen, we're gonna keep walking on sunshine over here. That's the theme song. Because guess what? We're not miserable. We're loving life and we're appreciating this great product, which is Buckeye football, Nevada.
Well, yeah. I mean, look, we're gonna beat, and we're the preseason betting favorite to win the national championship next year. So it's hard for me to be sad about Ohio State football, the state of Ohio State football, and I think it's going to be a heck of a fun year. If you're a fan that likes tough games, oh, you're going to get them in abundance next year for Ohio State, and
Yeah.
we're going to be battle tested by come playoff time, and we get one more year of Julian saying to JJ Smith, and that's going to be absolutely absolutely wonderful to watch. And yeah, I'm already excited about 2026. So I say let's get rid of this worthless national championship game here on the 19th, and let's get on to the 2026 season.
Hey man, all good, Stilly Matt. You got us with the pre-snap confusion. You had us all out of position, but nah, it's all good, man. I appreciate you, brother. And here's another one for Stilly Matt. Thanks for the 199. Too many softies out there. B, that was great. He's talking about the patent video. I'm tempted to play it again, and depending on what everybody thinks, I will not force feed it. But if you want me to, I will. It's 45 seconds. Let me know. But yeah, it's definitely too many softies. Hence the video, right? So, there you go. Anything on that, Nevada?
No, that's one of the iconic scenes in all of cinema, and I thought it was fitting, man. It's like sometimes people just gotta pull themselves up. Remember, as Ohio State, man, we at the end of the day, we're still Ohio State. We're still we're gonna know how to navigate. The waters may get choppy and things may change, but nobody knows how to navigate that stuff better than the Buckeyes. We've got the resources, we got the people, we got the facilities, and like I said, take it a year at a time. You'll be better that way. And in 2026, we're preseason number one, so how bad can things be?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, take a deep breath. RELAX in my Aaron Rodgers voice. Real quick program reminder: we got the homie Dev going on next after us. 8:30. We might end it a little early on the pace we're on, so he may go earlier, but he's going after us on both channels, Buckeye Boys and Buckeye Scoop. Make sure you tune in. All right, we got Ernie Gonzalez. Thanks for the 4.99. Red shirt extended to 7 games. Good playing time too for coaching staff to evaluate young players. Could help keep players. Is it 7? I thought it was 9. I thought it was 9. But either way, the extension is definitely eye opening. What you got on that, Nevada?
Yeah, I'm I always try to game these things out and try to see how that it helps. I mean, the cynic in me just thinks it's just going to give more tape and more things for these players to go shop their services elsewhere. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
I really wonder about development, and I think development now is going to mean something different. I don't think it's going to mean development from like a high school player to being a professional. I think it's going to be from being a good college player at another place to getting exposed to playing with Matt Patricia for a year, or playing
Right.
being under the tutelage of Ryan Day for a season. I think that's what development's going to mean, because I just don't know if you can invest in them long term. But yeah, the redshirting thing is going to be interesting because you're going to get to see more. Nobody's going to be sitting anymore. The idea of sitting
Right.
guys and saving them for the future, that's going to go the way of the dodo. And I think extending the redshirt rule, it will certainly help in that for sure.
Yep. There's always a consequence for this stuff. And I think Nevada just laid it out for sure. Ernie, again, thanks for the 4.99. Biggest problem is rules were put in place with nobody to enforce them, so teams like Texas Tech can just go out and spin everyone with no penalty. Yeah, I'm hoping guardrails are coming soon, just so that it's just not crazy. And so, yeah, the Texas Tech billionaire flat out came and said, "Hey, we had a plan. We exploited the loophole before it was closed, and they made the playoffs. They lost, they got smashed, but they made the playoffs. That's good for Texas Tech, Nevada."
Well, yeah, and I think, look, let's be fair. I think that Ohio State. I'm not saying we exploited the rules, but Ohio State kind of beat everybody to the punch. When this whole thing started going down. The year that we took Quinshawn and Seth McLaughlin and Caleb Downs and Will Howard. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
we kind of went to the portal like more aggressively and a lot quicker than. Remember when we used to get garbage about the whole $20 million for our team comment right there? That
Yes.
now how silly. Think about what does $20 million get you right now, B? Like what kind of a
A
team could you
cheeseburger.
feel? They get you nothing. They get you nothing. That wasn't like back in 1904, or back in 1950. That was what, 2 years ago.
Right.
That's how much the world has changed. 20 million won't even feed. It seems like field you a MAC team,
Hmm.
let alone any type of competitive Big Ten team. So yeah, times are changing, things changing. um, coaching's always going to be determine success, as it does at every level. Good coaches are going to be able to do more with their players, and that's one good reason that we have Ryan Day, and I think that's going to be one of our key differentiators going forward.
Definitely. What's up, Unc? Buddha King Kush, thanks for the 4.99. With recent styles to claim for the draft, who do you believe is the next to step up at linebacker? So you got a few. Obviously, Peyton Pierce is coming back. You got Tarvis Alford. He looks good. Tarvis Alford, and then of course Riley Pettyjohn are the top three that we're going to be looking at. Now, Nevada, what's your answer on this as far as who do you think is going to really rise to the top? I know we got the transfer kid coming in from Wisconsin. I think he's going to be in the mix as well. But Who do you think is going to be the guy to really step up next year at linebacker?
Well, it's funny. The guy I was going to say is Christian Allegro, just
Yeah,
because he's got the experience, and and I think all these other guys you talk about, it's about potential. It's about they flat and Peyton Pierce played a lot of minutes this year.
he did.
Obviously Charles Alford didn't play as much. Pettijohn played a little bit more. But so if you ask me about those guys, I'm going to go with Peyton Pierce, because I just think it's always just about experience. But they're all good. I mean, think about how we were talking about Arvell Reese 2 years ago.
Yeah,
And even a year ago, we were Arvell Reese was like a guy that we thought was a good player, had flashed and done some good things for us, but nobody was like, "Oh, that's a first round pick." So, I
yeah.
expect good things out of all three of those guys. But Allegro is going to be the glue. I mean, he's a guy that's been a productive Big Ten linebacker. Without the other guys around him, I think he's going to be just that much better in the Ohio State system.
Yeah, and speaking of linebackers, shout out to James Laurinaitis for being inducted. It says College Football Hall of Fame class of 2026. So shout out to Little Animal for that. Great dude, great coach, great career. So glad he came back to Ohio State. Congrats to him. Anything on that, Nevada?
So I'm sorry, I missed you. You failed out on me. What was the breaking news there, be?
Oh, I was saying I was congratulating James Laurinaitis for being inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame.
Oh my
Um,
goodness! Wow.
yeah,
Wow.
yep. So, I mean, and I was just saying, great coach, great guy, great player in the NFL and in college. I mean, I was so happy when he came back to Ohio State, and so congrats to Little Animal. So yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
sure I knew
yeah,
you would like that.
yeah. Yeah, you're talking about a guy, on the short. When you talk about guys like who could be the next head coach at Ohio State, like he's that type of guy. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
I'm not saying he's got the resume to do it, but he certainly's got the makeup to do it. If you like Mike Vrabel as a head coach, Little Animals a lot like Mike Vrabel, obviously a lot less experience and thing, but same, similar type of makeup. And this guy is articulate, driven, unbelievable recruiter, great presenter, sterling resume at both the college and the NFL level. And yeah, it's just been a great addition to the staff. And I was super excited when he got the job. And I think he's got a bright future ahead of him in coaching.
yeah. And somebody brought up Sincere Johnson. Yes, he's a dog. He's going to be very good, I believe. So he'll be available next year and should get in the game. We'll see how much of an early impact he makes, but very, very good. Arvell Reese type of kid from Glenville. Doodah, man, thanks for the 10. B, keep us informed through the season how the Fighting Cheez-Its are doing. OH Nevada?
Oh,
So the Cheez-Its is the name of my our basketball team that I help coach for my son. They came up with the name the Cheez-Its. So there's 9 and 10-year-old kids for you. That's what they came up with. So I certainly will. We got a game this Saturday. Had a really good practice last night. Looking to get a win this Saturday, Nevada.
are you going to give like the speech like the guy in the Cheez It commercials? It's like,
Yes.
men, I
Yes.
think I've aged
I
too
actually
well.
already did. I actually already did give like a speech like a couple weeks ago, like similar to the commercial to make them laugh. But I might do
Did
that
they get
again to
it?
get them really going.
Did the kids get the reference immediately there? Did they
Yes,
understand
they
what
got it.
I hope it wasn't too obscure. You're like doing some old Ace Ventura thing. And they're like, what is dad doing? I don't know what he's talking about. He's talking about
Nah,
Ray Hinkle.
they right. Cool. No, they got it. They actually love that commercial. Who doesn't love that commercial? It's a great commercial. But speaking of well, not commercials, but they're saying to play the clip again, Nevada, the patent clip. You want to close out with the patent clip?
I think any of your memes are always okay with me, my friend.
Actually, hold on. Philly Matt, thanks for the 199. Shout out BJ and Coach Doppler. Go Cheez-Its. Yeah, go Cheez. Let's do it, baby. And I think maybe I should get like I might have like somebody like my nephew or somebody come in like dressed in a Cheez-It box like during the game just to be on the
You
sideline
need
just
you
dancing.
need to name one of your inbounds plays like the Scoop inbounds play or something, kind of little reference to Scoop thing there and get it out there. You know what I'm saying?
Matter
Like
of
that.
fact, I need to talk to you. One about the inbounds play, but also flag football starting soon. And we're going to get the
Oh,
guys together. So we're going to go and defend our title. But I need to highlight you about some plays. For those who don't know, Nevada is a veteran flag football coach. Very, very good. and he's going to give me some tips on some good plays that have worked for his teams. So I will
Yes,
holler
I
at you
have.
about that.
Okay. Sounds good. Sounds good.
All right. So let's pull up this patent clip and we will close out. So just to give y'all the context, I made the clip to illustrate how some of listen, this is not for people just because y'all so sensitive. This is not for people who just had concerns about, hey, can we get the guys we need out of the portal? I hope we do well. Not you guys. These are for the adamant, extra, over the top, overreactionary, fear mongering, facts be damned. I'm going to cry and push fear all over the internet. This is for these guys. Okay. If the shoe don't fit, I'm not talking to you. Stay out my inbox. All right, here we go. This is the patent clip.
You're nervous. What's the matter with you?
I guess I just can't take it, sir.
What did you say?
It's my nerves, sir. I just can't stand the shelling anymore.
Your nerves. You have a yellow bastard sitting here crying. Shut up! Get him out of here.
So you see, I cut the clip right when he was reaching for the heater on his hip. And I was like, no. This will really get me in trouble. So yeah, there you go, folks.
We need to do the next one. B, where he was forced to apologize to everybody in front of his troops and stuff like that. Now we have B Moses walking out and doing your apology or something like that.
That's good.
like
That's
I
so
would like
good.
to apologize. I would like to apologize.
I might start working on that tonight. Yeah, I'm gonna start working on that tonight. I think that's good. That's good stuff. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was funny. Matt Reynolds thinks it's funny. Okay, right? Who else appreciated it? There you go. Brock Rome. Thank you. Okay. So again, you crybaby, stay out of my my inbox. I love y'all though. All right. But anyway, Buckeye Scoop family, Buckeye Nation, great show, great pickup. Let's celebrate. We got us a kicker. I'm about to hit up Tressel, maybe go eat some hot wings with him and just say, Tressel, you were right. Special teams is the most important thing ever in life, and I'm happy. So we're going to go ahead and let you guys go. Until next time, we love you. Go Bucks. Peace.